You know, us Monster Hunter fans are extremely spoiled. Capcom has been blessing us every day with a new Monster Hunter Wilds gameplay video. And today, I want to talk about the Charge Blade video. But not actually about Charge Blade, considering I only ever played it in 4U when it was severely overpowered. I want to talk about what the Charge Blade video showed us, specifically the weapon and the armor. The weapon and armor have this very big night motif going on, but not to mention that it adds a lot of this silk, rose, and just outright webbing on the shield. Very bug-esque. This has led me and many others to believe we're getting new spider monster, and honestly, not only am I all for it, but I believe it is incredibly likely that this comes from a spider. Putting the armor next to the previous spider armor, honestly, it looks like it fits right in. It seems to be all the spiders have this very night motif kind of going on, or just general royal, regal, medieval look. And another little tidbit is when Rise was coming out, the Rakak and Adaki armor and weapon were also showcased on the Charge Blade. But to be honest, this is what anyone could put together by just doing a little research and doing side-by-side comparison. What's more important is I think we can actually figure out what exactly this monster is going to be like and what it is going to do. Let's start with that this monster is definitely going to use its physicality over an element or a status. While it may have one in a minor way, it's unlikely that it is its main weapon, considering on the Charge Blade we see no hit effects that would indicate either an element or a status. Now you could argue that it's just not programmed in yet, and I wouldn't judge you for thinking that, but if we look back all the way to monsterhunterrise's showcase for the Charge Blade, we see the Rakak Adaki Charge Blade, which uses fire element in game. And look at it, wouldn't you know, in the showcase it clearly shows the fire element particle effects, meaning that it was programmed in. And I firmly believe that they wouldn't showcase a weapon model exclusively, they would just showcase the whole weapon. I feel like if they just wanted to showcase it, they'd use something that they have already made, not specifically pick this unique model, but not the actual stats for it. Now, even with that being said, I actually think this monster might be almost a ambush predator. I say this off of the very floral designs all over the weapon and armor. And now some of you may say, but the Rakak Adaki armor also has flowers on both the head and the waist. Now that may be true, but the floral patterning on this is far more prevalent. It's on the center of the shield, it's on the headband, hell, even the bottom half of the dress is supposed to be almost a flower coming out of the waist. Now from what we could tell from everything we've speculated is that this monster will use brute force, will have something to do with flora, and must use webbing to some degree. With all this information together, this make me believe, and a little warning, I'm going to show a bug on the screen, so if you don't like bugs, look away, and I'll let you know when to look back. The monster will be based off of a flower spider. Spiders that, well, live in flowers, and honestly, even for spiders, look a little weird, even in my opinion. That, or I could even see it being a tarantula. The flower spider makes more sense with the whole rose motif going on, but a tarantula would make more sense when talking about sheer brute force, considering tarantulas tend to be upwards of 3, 4, 5 times the size of normal spiders, and it would make sense we see a truly huge arachnid. But on the flip side, we could see the inverse if it's a flower spider, a monster that's much smaller than the other two arachnids that are currently in the game. Maybe one that's very fast, agile, leading it to be physically powerful, or just maybe one that's on the weaker side, considering that the two arachnids we also have not only are large, but tend to be on the upper half of the monster power list. Another thing I would like to point out, since we pretty much are confirmed in my opinion that we're getting a spider, is I think this is the game where Nerscylla comes back. One of the reasons I think Nerscylla didn't come back is that it just couldn't handle her very much acrobatics in this newer gen title, not to mentioning no habitat in Rise would really fit her, and World was already struggling with Leviathans, so I don't want to imagine what any bug-like monster would look like in that engine if it couldn't even handle the Leviathan skeleton. We've already seen from the trailers that one, we're actually getting Leviathans back, and we obviously had them back in Rise. But not only are we getting them back, we seem to be going even a step further. Balahar is seen climbing all the way on top of a pillar just to do a whole sniper Kaard trick shot at the hunter. Imagine what someone like Nerscylla could do with this type of game engine. And better yet, what else could they be cooking up, considering now they have the ability to make what they want to make, since they finally made the full transfer over from the old 4U, 3DS, PSP era to actual modern gen console gaming. This is all being said with ignoring the fact that Monster Hunter Wilds is going for a much more alien design philosophy, which spiders and bug-like creatures would fit in really easily without even really trying. Like, I can imagine Nursilla in Wilds very, very easily compared to, let's say, imagining, I don't know, fucking Iapray or Iadrome in there. They just seem to fit in with the world and how brutal it is. And even then, Nursilla's one of the monsters where we got to see in-game a corpse of something they have killed directly. Back in 4U, you get to see the Gypsaros hanging up in there. This gets even more exciting when you've considered we have never seen a spider or bug-like monster with world ecology mechanics. Maybe you could see Nursilla building their web, or even if you touch their web, maybe it'll come running down from a separate area. Or better yet, maybe the new monster is hidden away and quickly shoots a string shot at you. You get wrapped up and it pulls you away. There is many cool ways that these monsters can interact. These are all things that are pretty reasonable, considering we've already seen that the Balaharas can create a sand pit that leads to another area where you fight the big bad Balahara. I don't know if the smaller ones have different names, I didn't check, so they're just called mini Balaharas to me for now. Lastly, I'd like to pitch my own design for the monster. Obviously, it's not gonna make it in, but just some type of theory crafting on what it could potentially look like. You ready? 1, 2, 3, bam! This is, I don't know yet. I actually haven't considered giving a name. Leave a name down below on what you think it would be called, whether you want to give it something silly or something you think would actually be a reasonable monster name. But anyways, I decided to go with the more just normal spider, less tarantula look. I don't really think we'll get a huge tarantula monster. The only thing that's making me lean towards that way is, like I said, the kind of design philosophy of Wilds, but I could be very wrong because I can only base so much design philosophy over really 3 and I guess 4-ish monsters we've seen. But like I said earlier, I think the flower motif on the armor and weapon is more than just some decorative choice, considering it's really plastered all over it. I decided to kind of make it a huge part because when you think about it, it could make a lot of sense. Let's say this monster uses the flower on its back to lure and prey with its scent, or just maybe it's a type of flower that monsters like to eat. This could give it some unique interactions with the overworld where not only could it actually jump onto you and sneak attack you, but maybe you can lure a monster to pass by it and it will jump onto it. There's a lot I think that can be done, and I really hope that even if it looks nothing like my design, I just hope that it really takes the arachnids to the next level because they were already pretty advanced monsters to begin with. Like I said earlier, Nursilla was the first monster I think to really start adding such variety in moveset, and also just being that acrobatic with that many tricks it could do. Given all the unique interactions monsters can have during a hunt, I have high hopes for this new arachnid, and was really sad because since Rise is more focused on general combat and less of the ecology of monsters, we didn't really get to see any, unique spider interactions. But now we can. And hey, I've been talking a lot about Nursilla, but maybe Rakakadaki can also come back and we can have a little trio going on. But like I said, this is all just speculation, and honestly I'd love to hear what you have to think in the comments. Monster Hunter is really fun to theorize and talk about because it's a series you really don't know what to expect, but yet leaves so much open for possibility that it's just fun to talk about. But that's gonna be all from me for now. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTuber shill stuff, and actually you really should subscribe considering YouTube's gaslighting me, telling me that no one who watches my videos are subscribed, so leave a comment down below letting YouTube know that you're subscribed and that their analytics are a little fucky-wucky. But yeah, thank you all for watching this long, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.